Hello everyone, I'm George Whipple. Welcome to 2017, where 19 states have new minimum wages, and California alone has at least 10 new legal requirements that apply to most employers. Federally, public corporations must now disclose the ratio of CEO compensation to the median compensation of their employees. Into this environment, President-elect Donald Trump has nominated fast food CEO Andrew Puzder as his labor secretary. The Senate confirmation hearing is currently set to begin the week of January 16th. Mr. Puzder has said that regional minimum wages make sense, as opposed to federal minimum wage increases that kill jobs. He has also opposed the DOL's proposed expansion of overtime eligibility. David Garland has more on this nomination.
The Secretary of Labor plays a very, very important role in setting the policy direction of the department. We've seen that most recently when it comes to the administrator interpretation letters that Secretary Perez issued, both with regard to joint employment and the independent contractor versus employee classification. We can expect a Secretary Puzder to be a strong voice in this administration in changing those policies. And we'll see him also getting involved on the minimum wage. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him get involved in the debate and the discussion on what comes forward with the Affordable Care Act. He's been a vocal critic of it. He's experienced it firsthand as the CEO of restaurant chains, and he has passionate feelings about it. So I would expect that we would see some strong policy views come forward from him on that as well.
New leadership at Labor might spell the end of one Obama-era policy already in limbo, the so-called Persuader Rule. A federal judge in Minnesota recently halted a case challenging the rule pending action by the Trump administration. The judge noted that it would be a waste of resources to proceed if the Trump administration scraps the rule entirely, a likely scenario. The administration has until March 1st to inform the court of its plans. Another DOL action currently in limbo is the new federal salary thresholds for overtime exemption. But New York went ahead with its own increased thresholds, sealing the deal at the end of 2016. In New York City, the threshold is now $825 a week, or $42,950 annually, for an executive or administrative worker at a company with 11 or more employees. The salary thresholds will increase each year, topping out at $1,125 a week in New York City, Nassau, Suffolk, and Westchester counties. 2017 will likely bring continued attention to mental health issues in the workplace. The EEOC recently released a document outlining the rights of employees with depression, PTSD, and other mental health conditions under the ADA. According to EEOC Chair Jenny Yang, the agency's work with disabled veterans uncovered a need for increased awareness around these issues. Mental health discrimination claims have increased in recent years. Preliminary data shows that the agency resolved almost 5,000 of these charges in fiscal year 2016. Now it's time for our first tip of the new year. Jonathan Fitzgerald from Equinox Strategy Partners is here with some advice on the importance of building cross-generational teams.
For the first time in the history of our country, we have 4 generations in the workforce. Each of the generations have their own specific styles, preferences, incentives, and motivations. So what can organizations do to leverage talent at all levels? The first thing they can do is to conduct a generational mapping of their workforce and of the clients and customers who they serve. You have to use a multi-level communication platform to connect with the different generations. Each of them have different wants and wishes. So for boomer professionals, make sure that as much of the communication as possible is in person or over the phone. Gen Xers like efficiency. If it's more efficient to meet in person than it is to send a text message, then utilize that to your advantage. And finally, millennials love texting, as we all know, and video content. Again, the better you can customize your communication to each of the generational styles, the more productivity you will get out of them.
Thanks, Jonathan. That's it for Employment Law this week. Thank you very much for watching. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.